Christian, turning to you. Now, we heard Pia talk about the role of IKEA as a purchaser of these services, but also doing, obviously, a lot of other things as well. Now, you represent Scania, a more traditional player in the transport industry, maybe a manufacturer, a big brand, trusted brand in the space. So what is the role of Scania now? Is it the same as it has always been, or is your role changing as well?
Yeah, thanks, Angela. And by the way, thanks also for helping us out being part of our Sustainable Transport Forum last week.
My pleasure.
So at Scania, our purpose is to drive the shift towards sustainable transport systems. And with that comes commitment to reduce emissions in line with science. And we push a lot on that, and hence being in line with the Paris Agreement. So as a proof of that, we are the first and still only company in our industry to set science-based targets. And we will see deep cuts of carbon emissions already by 2025. And actually, I'm confident that by 2030, we will be at zero when it comes to our own direct emissions. And then half of our volume may well have an electric driveline by that time. And looking even further ahead, we have committed to only put fossil-free vehicles on the road by 2040. To a question who our customers are and what their needs will be, I think that is going to change. As the landscape shifts, our business model will also have to shift and evolve with it. Electrification and other emerging transport technologies, such as connectivity and autonomous, will create new drivers for profitability. And to succeed in this environment, we need to embrace the technology and fully explore and develop the new business opportunities that they offer. And of course, at the same time, continuing to excel in what is today our core business. Our customers expect us to deliver them with complete solution, and we must be able to do that. And the most obvious example, and Pia was into it, is of course that with battery electric vehicles comes the need for charging and information around charging solutions. But we also need to be better react to changing conditions, and we need to be much faster to market. And we will work even closer with our customers to deploy new solutions by bringing them closer to our development process.
Fantastic. So you mentioned, there's so much here I'd like to dig into, but you did mention one thing that I think is so fantastic, and it is that you actually have science-based targets and you want to commitments in line with science. I love that. So what was the rationale for Scania? How come you are the only one? What was the line of thought behind thinking, yes, we will do this?
And I think it's pretty simple. I mean, we started out in 2015 discussing as every year our strategy, and by then we came to the conclusion that we really needed to review our purpose. I mean, why do we exist as a corporation? And that's where we stated that our purpose is to drive the shift towards sustainable transport system. And that means taking a lead, and that means changing for real. And then to have some kind of proof point that we're doing the right thing, we say, okay, that must be then to act in coordination with science. And that's why it was natural for us to connect them to the Potsdam Institute, to have them help us really to say, okay, what does it mean for us in our operations, but also in our customers' operation? And then we concluded after a lot of work that we think we can do it. So we go for it. And then, as I would say, as cream on the pie, we have also been able now to convince our fellow colleagues, the other European OEMs in producing heavy commercial vehicles, that they're also, maybe still not committing fully, but at least they commit to say a common target is by 2040 to stop putting combustion engine vehicles on the roads. And that is, of course, the only chance if we, by 2050, thinking that the technical life length of a heavy commercial vehicle is on average 10 years. So there we got them with us. But we're going to continue to pull and be the good example in our industry to really show that this is not only necessary for the climate and for our planet, but it's also the only way to be profitable in our industry.
I like that. And at the end of the day, that's also a big goal for businesses, of course, to be profitable.
Has to be, yeah.
Exactly. I just, one just quick last question. So you said the landscape is shifting and we need to change with it. So what do you see, what's the main trend sort of that you see now that will have a huge impact, not only on Scania, but on all the heavy duty manufacturers?
Well, I think super short term, it's really, if we're going to halve our emissions by 2030, I mean, there is no one silver bullet, but right now it's really about getting the fuels right so that we get a higher proportion of biofuels or synthetic fuel into the existing rolling fleets. And at the same time, it's then going all in for electric vehicles and getting them onto the road, not to get into this hen and the egg dilemma that Pia was into. So we're moving full steam ahead, and I know that we have some pretty tough competitors that are doing the same thing. And then, of course, it's then our responsibility to partner up with suppliers of energy to make sure that the electricity that our customers are going to charge is actually green. Otherwise, all these efforts didn't really make any sense. But it's biofuels short term, it's electrification, and then of course going further ahead, there might also be hydrogen vehicles for some application in the heavy side that would make sense. But there's less certainty, I would say, on that side.